Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, Congressman Ted Lieu delivers his State of the Region address to South Bay residents.
And NASA takes off on a mission to predict droughts and floods worldwide.
And Louis Zamperini's birthday is celebrated with a new addition to his inspiring collection of stories.
Plus, Torrance Transit celebrates a big milestone. These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chin.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. State funding at University of California campuses has been in the forefront of public education news recently. Now, California State University students are getting in on the debate over tuition as well. The student success fee has been a much criticized expense passed on to California State University students during the public school system's tuition freeze, ranging from as little as $35 at Cal State Dominguez to $780 for Cal Poly San Luis Obispo students. University administrators say the fees help hire professors, advisors, and offer more student services. On average, the fees have made up 21% of the total mandatory campus fees, excluding tuition, which was set at a ceiling of $5,472 in 2012. For example, in nearby Cal State Long Beach, students will pay a total of over $6,300 once the mandatory fees are tacked on to their tuition this year. The debate and outcry over the added cost has prompted students to speak out, leading trustees to vote for overhauling those fees. Under the new changes made, any campuses without existing fees will need permission from the chancellor's office before adding extra cost, while students will be able to rescind fees starting in 2021. Campuses will also be required to create an annual report outlining how the money is being spent across each respective campus.
Cal State Long Beach is the latest community to be impacted by the measles outbreak. In mid-January, a group of 20 students went on an off-campus field trip, and it was later found one of them had contracted the virus. Campus officials say it's not a campus-wide threat, but how the lone CSU student got infected is still unknown. She's since recovered from her infection. The outbreak has been traced back to an exposure at Disneyland just before Christmas, spreading through 7 other states and Mexico over the next month while infecting more than 90 people. Health officials assure visiting Disneyland is safe for those that are vaccinated, but if you have children too young for vaccinations, you should avoid any areas with large crowds of international travelers.
Competitors and fans who enjoyed the 2014 Herbalife Triathlon of Los Angeles are one step closer to its return to Torrance, but not without some deliberation and further planning by city officials. A staff report presented during the January 27th Torrance City Council meeting noted that preparation for the 2014 triathlon incurred unexpected cost and the man-hours from the city staff. In that 2014 event, Torrance collected reimbursement of all day of event labor and county fees from event organizers, Pacific Sports. Now, for the city to approve a second annual triathlon in Torrance, the staff report recommended a 15% administrative fee covering the total receipts from the event. More than 1,200 public notices were sent out to Torrance homeowners who would be affected by the fall race. They surveyed how local residents were impacted in everything from traffic to safety concerns. 57% of residents said they'd like to see a second Herbalife Triathlon in Torrance, while 12% felt the 2014 event wasn't adequately supervised.
Well, 6 months after his passing, the Torrance Historical Society celebrated the birthday of Louis Zamperini. Born on January 26, 1917 in New York, Zamperini would have been 98 years old this year. To honor the inspirational World War II hero, Olympic runner, and inspirational speaker, members of the community gathered at the Torrance Historical Society for a signing of his book, Don't Give Up, Don't Give In. The book was co-authored by Zamperini and finished just days before his death in July of last year, giving some of his wisdom, values, and lessons learned in an extraordinary life. It's acknowledged as part of Zamperini's story that takes over where the book and movie Unbroken ends. David Renzen is the co-author of Zamperini's final book, as well as the Torrance hero's Devil at My Heels. He also worked with Zamperini while Unbroken was being filmed, and he attended the event in Torrance as a guest speaker.
Torrance celebrated another special birthday with the 75th anniversary of the Torrance Transit System. On January 28, 1940, a total of 3 buses made up the local metro fleet. Today, it sends 63 buses on 11 routes throughout numerous South Bay cities, serving more than 4 million passengers each year. To celebrate the event, Torrance Transit promoted Metro's regional TAP program by giving out commemorative TAP cards. Each card could be used for a free ride and can be reloaded with fares for use on all Torrance Transit buses. It's a new system implemented in Torrance that allows passengers to pay fares for several LA County bus agencies from Antelope Valley to Culver City, Long Beach, and more. MetroLink has TAP-enabled tickets, and the Big Blue bus will be on the bandwagon soon. To get your own TAP card online, visit tap2go.net.
Redondo Beach resident Margot Bronstein was ordered to stand trial in a deadly South Bay crash that killed 4 pedestrians and injured several others. Bronstein pleaded not guilty in mid-December to 4 counts of felony vehicular manslaughter and 1 count of driving under the influence and causing bodily injury in connection with the December 17th crash. She is suspected of driving while under the influence of prescription medication. A pharmacist testified at Bronstein's recent hearing that she'd been prescribed the muscle relaxer Soma and the painkiller Norco. Those are the drugs Bronstein says she took the day of the accident. Bronstein is accused of swerving around vehicles stopped at a red light and hitting a group of pedestrians, leaving a Christmas performance at St. James Catholic Church. The 4 victims were all from Torrance. 9 others were hospitalized, including 4 children. Bronstein is due back in court on February 10th. Now, if convicted, she faces 40 years in state prison.
New technology has been shaking things up recently, with a statewide earthquake warning system being one of the most remarkable in disaster preparedness. Now, NASA is launching a new program to predict climate change. The Soil Moisture Active Passive mission is NASA's latest satellite launched to measure soil moisture, predicting droughts and floods. The satellite will circle Earth from over 400 miles away while recording data from a system of ground sensors worldwide. It will measure liquid and frozen water in the planet's top 2 inches of soil. The nonstop stream of data will be distributed to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, U.S. Geological Survey, and 36 other organizations. From there, scientists can predict agricultural productivity, droughts and wildfires, and any number of factors affected by the Earth's water cycles. A scientist from the SMAP program called the ebb and flow of the Earth's precipitation the metabolism of our environment.
A record year for Los Angeles International Airport has become the latest evidence of an improving worldwide economy. 70.7 million passengers passed through LAX in 2014, surpassing the record of 67.3 million in 2000. 27% of those travelers were international passengers, topping another record which was set in 2013 when almost 18 million people came from overseas through LAX. An executive at the Los Angeles World Airport says the increase in passengers and the increased cargo capacity that comes through LAX now are signs of strengthening the Southern California economy and the rest of the world. The 64 commercial carriers flying in and out of LAX combined to offer 692 flights per day to and from 85 cities in the U.S. Each week, 928 flights connect LAX to 34 countries worldwide, making it the 6th busiest airport on the globe. In 2011, the Los Angeles Economic Development Corporation determined that 294,000 jobs in LA County were generated by the airport, creating $13.6 billion in income for the local workforce.
Thousands of volunteers took to the streets in an effort to better serve LA County's homeless population. The 2015 Greater Los Angeles Homeless Count took place recently. The 3-night event involving nearly 6,000 volunteers helped identify homeless residents across the county. The biannual count, which found 39,000 homeless men, women, and children in 2013, draws on an army of volunteers, government, and community agencies to determine the extent of homelessness across the region. This will also help to get a sense of how the county's homeless population has changed in the past 2 years and also play a role in determining how millions in funding will be allocated. The Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority has been leading the LA count since it began 10 years ago and said recent numbers showed growth in homeless in areas of South LA and uncovered much younger homeless communities in Venice and Long Beach. Volunteers and service providers met at deployment centers and received training, a clipboard, flashlight, and volunteer t-shirt. They were paired up into teams of at least 2 and fanned out along designated census tract areas. Volunteers started in the San Gabriel Valley, then moved to West LA, the South Bay, Antelope Valley, downtown, as well as South LA.
Toyota is recalling vehicles from its 4-door sedan line due to a wiring problem. The recall is for 52,000 Toyota Avalons from 2011 to 2012. The automaker says cargo in the trunk of those cars could disrupt wiring for the audio system subwoofers. When the wires contact the metal frame of the subwoofer, it could cause a short circuit, overheating, and potential risk of fire. Toyota says no fires or injuries have been reported, but 2 separate incidences of overheating brought on the precautionary recall. They'll be notifying owners of the cars to have the problem fixed at dealerships for free.
The popular car service Lyft, known for donning pink mustaches on the front of their cars, is giving themselves a new look. Lyft has replaced their furry pink mustaches with a 5-inch pink glow stash that'll be placed on the dashboard. About 300 Lyft drivers formed a line that stretched 3 blocks from the company's San Francisco headquarters to receive the new glow-in-the-dark insignia. Lyft is one of several companies that allow customers to use a smartphone app to book and pay for rides in a private car.
Well, nearly 24 cars in the South Bay cities were vandalized recently. From Torrance to Redondo Beach to Manhattan Beach, cars parked on major streets were shot at, breaking windows and windshields of more than 20 parked vehicles. Motorists discovered the damage when they went out to their cars in the morning. Torrance police received 7 reports of damaged cars located along Torrance Boulevard between Palos Verdes Boulevard and Anza Avenue. Reports indicated the windows were shattered with BB rounds, and based on the location of the next set of cars vandalized, suspects likely headed west on Torrance Boulevard, turning onto Prospect Avenue, where 13 more cars were shot at. While no one reported damage in Hermosa Beach, 2 car owners in Manhattan reported damage to the windows of their cars that were parked on Manhattan Beach Boulevard.
Local cell phone company is the recent target of a string of burglaries, and the authorities are now asking for your help. Torrance police released these surveillance photos of suspects involved in a recent burglary at Express Verizon Wireless. Now, they're located near Pacific Coast Highway and Hawthorne Boulevard, having been broken into a 3rd time since they opened 6 months ago. Investigators say the suspects smashed windows to break in, ransacking the business and taking off with stolen electronics worth about $20,000. All 3 incidents happened during the early morning hours between 2:30 and 4. Investigators say the vehicle used to get away from the crime scene could be an older 4-door Nissan or Honda. Police ask anyone who has information to call the police department at 310-328-3456.
Still ahead, Congressman Ted Lieu, now into his 1st month in office, speaks to local residents and the business community on his plans to impact higher education and the local workforce.
Okay, so we drowned the fire,
Yep.
stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams?
Here.
Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Students who miss 18 days of school in any grade risk falling behind and not graduating. Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today.
Welcome back, everybody. Congressman Ted Lieu was elected to his newest political position last November, highlighting a journey that started right here in Torrance. On the heels of the President's State of the Union address, Congressman Lieu visited Torrance to deliver the message of what D.C. has in store for South Bay residents. Megan Powers has the story.
Southern California business leaders and politicians recently gathered together for the State of the Region luncheon.
I'm at 12 and he's at 18.
Yeah, go ahead and put him in it. Congressman Ted Lieu, the newly elected South Bay representative, spoke excitedly and hopefully about the future of California.
I'm very honored to be here at the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce State of the Region address. The State of the Region is improving.
The freshman congressman knows how far we have come, but still has big plans for our upcoming years.
We have reduced our unemployment rate over the last few years. California as a whole has created more jobs in Texas in the last 3 years. We're also poised to not only become the 8th largest economy in the world, but the 7th, about to pass Russia pretty soon.
He commended many of California's strengths, including biotech, aerospace, travel and tourism, and entertainment. Lou also realizes that a higher education is necessary for many of these fields.
And that's why I'm very excited about the President's plan to provide free community college for all, 2 years worth. I think that's how we have an educated workforce that our businesses actually need in the 21st century.
The crowd responded warmly to Lou. They laughed at his jokes, applauded his ideas, engaged in questions, showered him with gifts, and even took pictures with him during the luncheon.
He was great. He was funny. He was relaxed. And he also talked about trying to work in a bipartisan way, working across the aisle to find some solutions.
It's really interesting, his take on being a freshman and being in the beginning of his career, his term in Congress. I'm looking forward to a lot of good things from him.
I feel good. I look forward to continue to grow the economy.
Overall, the future for California looks bright, and Congressman Lou plans on taking the Golden State to the top. 2015 should be an exciting year. Stay tuned. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Megan Powers.
Thank you, Megan. The State of the Region address and luncheon was organized and hosted by the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce.
January is Blood Donor Awareness Month, and our reporter Megan Powers was out again visiting the American Red Cross in Torrance to find out how easy it is to help save a life.
The Torrance Donor Center has been a part of our community for many years. This blood donor location stays busy supplying blood to hospitals and cancer centers from Ventura County to the Mexico border.
It's very important that we have a stable blood supply for folks that are in accidents and for babies who are born premature and people who have cancer.
I like working here because I know that I'm indirectly helping patients and make their lives a little better.
Eliana Twiggs is one of the coordinators for the Torrance Blood Center. She makes sure the center stays busy by booking appointments, recruiting donors, and most importantly, ensuring that visitors have a comfortable and rewarding experience.
You're saving lives just by donating, so it's a great thing to do. It builds the community, and you need to do it.
Jill Graves is a regular at the Torrance Donor Center, usually donating her rare O-negative blood, but on this visit, she's donating platelets for the first time.
It saves lives. Mine in particular saves many, many lives, and the platelets as well.
As busy as the Torrance Blood Donor Center is, they are not busy enough at this time of year. Due to the holidays and the flu virus, January is the slowest month for blood donations. This is why the Red Cross has named January their National Blood Donor Month.
We want to highlight that in National Blood Donor Month that we do have a need and we'd like folks to come roll up a sleeve.
Inspired by the opportunity to help, I took on the challenge and rolled up my sleeve.
I was a little bit nervous at first, but with the help of everyone here, I was able to donate blood for my first time and help save some lives.
Your blood can be broken down into whole blood or platelets or plasma, and you have the opportunity to help up to 3 people.
The Red Cross estimates someone in the U.S. needs blood every 2 seconds, a critical statistic that cannot afford a shortage. With the whole process taking just under an hour, it's a small price to pay to save lives. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Megan Powers.
Thanks, Megan. Visit redcross.org to make your blood donation appointment.
This next story previews what's to come in CitiCable's newest episode of Canine Corner. Rhiannon Tretenich takes us behind the scenes of Torrance Police's Canine Unit to see the value of these furry officers.
6-week school that they have to go to. Me and Nemo, Officer Nemo, we just went to canine school. We just graduated in November, so it's a 6-week course, and we expose them to everything they're going to see out in patrol. Suspects hiding in vehicles, trash cans, buildings, basements, anywhere a suspect can hide, they get exposed to that, and just repetition, as well as more obedience. And then after that 6 weeks, they're ready to come out here and work a regular patrol unit. Every night we still train, in between calls to go do obedience, throw the ball, work on article searches with them during the shift. So it's always a constant training going on. Even when we go home on our days off, we're still training.
The training is what teaches canine dogs to focus and get their job done in the field.
With humans and how we work, if we're having a bad day, we didn't get enough sleep, something's going on at home, that might affect on how we search for these people. And these people need to be caught and they need to be held accountable for what they did. A dog, he's going in, he has one job, one purpose, and that's to find the guy. Dogs don't have bad days. They're trained to push through that, and they're going to give their all to find that guy, and that's what we need. If we're looking for a very, an extremely dangerous person, we need to find the guy, we need to find him fast, and we need to find him safely, and that's where we use Rex.
When they're not working, the canine dogs are able to relax and be a family dog.
Rex is an amazing animal, and why he's an amazing animal is because he's able to switch gears, and you need that for a police dog. That's the type of dog that we look for here at Torrance, one that can go to work, be excited to go to work, and do his job the way we ask him to. And it's a hard job. A police dog's job is very strenuous. It's stressful on the dogs. It's very physical. But we need a dog that also can go home and be a good family dog. Just be a dog, and that's what Rex is.
Even though they do a lot of work out here keeping us safe, the home life, he's a very happy dog. He goes home, he gets to relax, be a dog for the day, and when we come to work, then he knows it's time to go to work and go out there and make me proud.
Thanks, Rhiannon. You can catch the full episode of Canine Corner and the rest of that story at 12 noon and 8 p.m. each day here on City Cable. Still ahead, some local events to mark on your calendar.
I remember the moment clearly.
I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
I realized at that moment, when we first saw the damage, these people really needed us. And I was going to make a difference, right here in my community. Together with local responders, we cleared trees and collapsed walls. We had to get to the family trapped beneath. As a citizen soldier, I made a difference.
Be there for your community at NationalGuard.com. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part. New research tells us that just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you have your pen and paper handy. Here are a few noteworthy events to tell you all about. The Torrance Travelers are inviting you to join them on a historical trip on Wednesday, February 25th. The Travelers will be trekking to San Diego's Natural History Museum for a day of exploring King Tut's treasures. The world-famous exhibit has made stops in Paris, Munich, Madrid, and more. Now it's in Southern California, displaying Howard Carter's archaeological discovery of the Boy King with more than 1,000 recreations of the treasures. King Tut's tomb itself has been recreated to a real-life scale, along with a viewing of the film Mummies, Secrets of Pharaohs. Lunch at Phil's Barbecue will kick off the day in San Diego, giving you a taste of a different kind of history. Phil's Barbecue is the home of the sandwich, the best sandwich I ever ate. Now that's according to the Travel Channel. The tour leaves Wilson Park at 9 a.m. and will return at 6:30 p.m. Call 310-618-2970 to sign up. And the Torrance Travelers they're still traveling, and they're on the go once again, this time following the footsteps of the late Huell Hauser. The road trip to Bakersfield will leave from Wilson Park in Torrance, driving more than the beautiful grapevine, or driving over the beautiful grapevine and along the route Hauser made famous in his popular series Road Trip. Stops will include Dewar's Candy Production Center and the Pioneer Village, just like the popular exploring TV host did himself. There's a hearty lunch menu set for you at the restaurant Wool Growers, about halfway through the nostalgia-packed day. Now to sign up for the tour, call 310-618-2970. Sign-ups close for both events early February. Now let's check in on the local sports scene with Juan Hernandez, telling us what he has in store on the latest episode of the Sports Desk. Juan?
Hi, welcome into the Sports Desk studio. Coming up on this week's show, we've got highlights from two games that are going to come right down to the wire. One of them features a candidate for Close Call of the Year, but I'm not going to tell you who they are here. You've got to watch the show at 4 p.m. and 9:30 every day on CitiCABLE. We're going to see you there.
Thanks, Juan. That does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m.
That's right. I'm Jin Chin. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.